Hi, everybody. Welcome. Roger Kern here at rogersactingtips.com. Talking today on a continuing conversation, actually, but I think it's the first time I've spoken about it here. A question came up from a student the other day. Is it absolutely necessary to have training to develop the skill sets for acting? And that is a really good question and an extremely important question. And the reason being that it is a question that has caused great debates over the centuries. Truly, there are some people, and I am not particularly one of them. However, I have seen or heard of some instances in extreme cases where someone actually taught themselves in their bedroom or, at work. Whenever they had a spare time, they worked on scenes and practiced acting and copying people that they saw in the movies and trained themselves to act. But that is not the norm. Not in my experience. In my experience, training can be extremely valuable, but I will say this. To me, the most valuable training is experience, is taking the risk of getting up there on the stage, whether it be in an acting workshop or in front of your class at school or trying out for a community theater show and getting a part and getting up there. There is nothing like the exchange that happens between you as an actor live in front of an audience. You get immediate feedback. You start to find the things that work. And this is how you teach yourself or learn to act. This is how you learn to create that process that you use personally to come up with your performances. Now, yes, there are some people who say, oh, don't mess with the instrument. Leave it alone. Let it be natural. And the trouble is, the many people that I have talked to over the years who have actually seen these people work, and I have experienced a couple of those people, the people who don't have a regimen or a system that they have built within themselves to come with a performance on command at will. When the curtain goes up, the lights go up, action is called on the set. Those people who have not trained themselves, they have a hard time coming up with an acceptable start at a performance, or sometimes they never find it. Sometimes it just spend the entire scene or the play chasing this performance around that they were hoping they would have. This is very, very delicate. You don't know the energy levels, the emotional climate, the rhythm, the exchange between you and the rest of the cast, you and the other actors that you're working with, the stakes, how hard you're going to pursue an objective. These kind of feedback, the feedback to these kinds of things happens when you are up in front of people, perhaps in a workshop, perhaps within a very experienced teacher, perhaps with an experienced director. Often, I will tell you that it is very valuable to do all sides of the performance and production aspect, even though I'm not talking about producing. What I'm talking about is, specifically for me, what I'm saying is that I have learned easily as much about acting when I am directing as I have when I was heavily involved in a workshop working on my acting. It's fascinating. I mean, if you're a director doing a play, which I strongly suggest you should try, you will learn a lot about acting watching other people trying to come up with the performance and trying to help them come up with the performance that they're trying to come up with. It's very informative when you watch other people. It also teaches you a lot about dealing with people, assisting people, directing people, handling people in a sensitive way, communicating precisely, communicating sensitively and logically. All these lessons can be learned if you're directing, for instance. You will do all the same things when you're working with other people in scenes, in a scene workshop or in an acting class or in a play. If you get in a play, go down to a cattle call and get in line and audition. Try to get in there. This is how you will start learning what works for you. And it's very poignant about what I speak about here in terms of what I present here on this website, my new course, The Acting Formula 101, which I keep telling you over and over again. The only real acting formula is the one that you create for yourself. Everybody has their own personal acting formula that they have to create. And that's what my workshop is about. It's assisting people to go in a direction that perhaps triggers discoveries for themselves and those items that they keep in their memory banks as to what works for them. And it keeps expanding and growing, and those choices change as you evolve as an actor and a human being. And remember, the human being is the instrument. So my answer to the question is yes, I think training is extremely valuable. While it would never be required and you would never be admonished for not having training, I would say the most important thing is experience. That is the most valuable and most valid training you can get, is getting up there, taking the risk, go do it. Go get in a show, go get in a class, get up on stage, get in front of people. You'll get feedback about you were too lazy, you were too slow, you had no energy, you didn't seem like you cared, you should have gone faster. I couldn't hear you. You weren't projecting. And in film, of course, it's the opposite. You don't need to project. You have a microphone usually right here underneath your chin in a lavalier. So, I mean, there are different things to understand and learn, and you can only do that with experience. So, remember, experience is trial and error, and it really is fail and try again, fail and try again, fail, get a little better, fail, do it a little better, but not quite there, try one more time, and we succeeded. That's learning acting. That's teaching yourself what works. That's how you learn to act. And that's how you learn what your acting process is and create your acting formula, your personal acting formula. And I think I will talk about this another time too, because there's an attitude about all of the fundamentals of acting because we are humans and we are using our own instrument. It's so easy to go, oh, I concentrate. I know what concentration means. Well, but you don't know what concentrating for an actor means. It's a little different. It's much deeper. It's making choices on where the real specific point of focus is in that scene for you to pursue the objective that you want to get in that scene, and whether you cover that up and hide that, but you still have that as your secondary point of concentration. There's a number of things beyond saying just you have to concentrate. So it's important that you gain an insight to these kinds of things to build your own process. So please do get out there and get experience. And yes, my answer would be that training is very valuable. Not absolutely, required. No one would ever say that. I wouldn't. But I would say that most actors who became professional actors would say, yeah, it's required. Because they know that they did it. And I had the privilege of working with a few geniuses in my life. What the people that I know, all the people that I know in the theater community and the entertainment industry considered as genius performers. And they were. They're just brilliant people, and it was wonderful to work with them. But I asked them, were you always this good? They went, oh, no, I was terrible. There was no way. I failed miserably the first 3 years that I was acting, and got depressed and thought I would never be an actor. And they worked hard and overcame their fears and their limitations and developed skills, a skill set for acting. That's what they did. And you can do it too. And I will talk more about the insights of the different exercises that are offered in the class to a certain extent. It's just important that if you get the class, the Acting Formula 101, and you go through the exercises, you start to understand that there's a little more to it than just, oh, I'm thinking about this, or oh, I think this should be fast, or oh, I think I'm upset in this scene. It's nothing general. It has to become very specific. Okay? And I will talk more about training and acting the next time. I'm Roger Kern here at rogersactingtips.com. I thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I'm very grateful for that. Please remember, after you subscribe to my website, to please send me an email, and I'll send you a coupon for a 10% discount on my products. And again, thank you for being here. See you soon.